Hi, Thomas Miller from the Fun Astrology Daily Podcast, taking a look through the lens of astrology and asking the chart, could Princess Catherine have been poisoned? The purpose of this video is not to speculate, not to formulate my own opinions, but to look at what people are talking about and filter it through the lens of astrology. We're going to use as the basis of the technique I'm going to show you this book by Ron Watson called The Cosmic Key, which describes a very consistent protocol in astrology charts that can be present at or near the time of death. The technique is actually quite straightforward and simple. You find the last prior new moon to somebody's death. Then you look in the chart for transiting Saturn and their secondary progressed moon and how those three relate to their natal birth chart. In this video, we are going to add transiting Neptune and look at that exclusively because Neptune in astrology rules poison. Now, why are we looking at the topic of poisoning? Well, one of the first people I got in touch with on TikTok was Be Free with Mary B 3.0. She has a great account over there and puts a lot of good content out. And recently, a video came up on my feed called She's Gone. Mary played a clip from this lady who goes by Medicine Woman, and she claims to be a psychic and channeler. And she has a series of videos on her channel where she says she saw in her psychic awareness that Princess Catherine was poisoned. Just a note, I put a link to Medicine Woman's videos in the last video I did on this topic, and she or somebody emulating her account reached out to me and solicited me for a reading for money, which I did not pay. So here's where we're going to apply Ron Watson's technique in the Cosmic Key using Neptune as the planet that rules poison. Could it have contributed to Catherine's death? Well, as I mentioned in my last video, I ran this process for the December new moon for Catherine, and there were no death symbolisms at all. I ran it in January, and every one of them indicated death. Now we're going to add Neptune. Could it have been by poisoning? Neptune in the transiting chart is at 25 degrees Pisces. In this chart, it's at 25 degrees Sagittarius. That's an exact to the degree square, answering that piece as a definite yes, it is possible. And then this aspect is called a quincunx, or an inconjunct. And it hits her Saturn and Pluto, the two planets in astrology that rule death. And in Catherine's natal chart, she has them right together. All millennials do. Everybody born in that same time frame have that exact same aspect. But what this is showing is based on this new moon in January, that there again is a poisoning symbolism in her chart. And it's about now that the comments come, oh, you don't believe this baloney, and why are you trying to stir up a conspiracy theory? Well, here's why. Because I happen to know somebody very well, very, very well, who worked with one of the U.S. government alphabet agencies and also local law enforcement. And he and I have walked Dealey Plaza in Dallas several times together where he told me the real story. And now I think you could safely say that most people don't believe that one guy shot John F. Kennedy in 1963. And that's why I don't take the narrative at face value anymore. Never will. But then I got to digging a little deeper, and a few things ironically just popped up on my social media feeds. Like this from the Spilling Royal Tea blog written back in 2013, that Kate teased Princess Beatrice to the point of tears, that Prince Philip threw Princess Kate a blanket to cover up after Kate attended a Diamond Jubilee event in a thigh-high skirt, and that Kate sparked rumors of brazen flirtation and showing an obvious preference for Prince Harry in public back in 2012. And then there was this from the Royal Gossip Psychotic blog in 2015, where it was stated in a number of different things, an article worth looking up, that she was causing concern and exasperation among the royal family. And we know that there are these pictures and others online where we see that William is clearly not happy with Princess Catherine. And then we have this very strange sequence of events, beginning with Thomas Kingston's suicide on February 25th, 2 days later, William cancels appearing at his godfather's memorial to give a eulogy and is seen later that day with 3 bruises down his neck. Princess Anne's husband is seen with a black eye in public on March 4th, and then on March 22nd, the video, now in question even by Getty Images, that Princess Catherine has cancer. Could all of this be another gnarly royal web that Catherine and perhaps even her sister Pippa got involved in between William and may have involved Thomas Kingston? And could this little 47-page book give us clues to what may have happened? Another thing that the planet Neptune in astrology rules are lies and deceptions. This chart is 2 days after Catherine went into the hospital, allegedly, in January. And this chart is indicating that indeed there are deceptions around that whole situation in her life. And just don't forget that these are not always happy people. And one of the articles indicated that when people try to exit the royal fold, they are met often with Gestapo-like resistance to their departure.